Hey peeps, J9 here. Today I am going to make avocado chips with you. So I buy things based on what recipe I'm going to make. So this recipe calls for one large ripe avocado. I wouldn't say this is large, but I have two of them. I'm going to basically double the recipe. This is how I do. I just mash it right out, comes right out, the pit and all, and then I just take the pit out. So I'm just going to take the skins off the two avocados and then you just mash it together. I'm going to walk you through mashing it just in case you want to see. Now this is great. I cut out carbs for at least 6 months. My holistic doctor gave me that recommendation. And so I am almost a month in already and I don't miss them because I find fun things to eat. I was just talking to someone today and they said they're not enjoying their food, and that's very unfortunate. You have to find things that you really enjoy. I think that's the key. So see the pits come right out. You just take them right here. Now you're going to mix in, let me get my paper towel. You're gonna mix in, it's 3/4 cup Parmesan. So here's my Parmesan. I go to the Italian market for this because I just like quality cheese. I don't mess around with that. I don't mess around with cheap powder like cheese. This is the real deal, people. It's expensive, but is worth it. Okay, so 3/4 cup Parmesan. Then we're gonna do a teaspoon of lemon. Just make sure you take the pits out. The seeds or pits, whatever you call it. I tend to forget and then I'm always crunching on something. It's gross. So we're doing a teaspoon of fresh lemon. Since I'm doing 2 avocados, I'm basically doubling this. And then we're gonna move on to a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. You have to have the right seasoning, you know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna go to Italian seasoning, 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. So I have that right here. I'm just gonna take the top off because sometimes it gets a little stuck. And then we're gonna move to sale and pepe. Sale and pepe is Italian for salt and pepper. So we'll do that, a little sale, a little pepe. I'm gonna put this, I think I'm gonna put this in the air fryer, but if you wanna put it in the oven, you preheat oven to 325, line 2 baking sheets with parchment paper so it doesn't stick. And then in the medium bowl, we're mashing all the stuff. We're gonna mash in with a fork, and then basically you put them in little scoops on the baking sheet. And so leave a couple inches in between each scoop. Flatten each scoop, that's what's gonna make it a chip. And bake until crisp, about 25 minutes. It says you have to flip once. So just hold on. I'm gonna mash, put this in the oven, and I'll be back when they are done. Or actually, you know what? I'm gonna mash these up, put them on the baking sheet. I'll show you what they look like, and then we'll finish it off. Okay, so I've mashed it all up here, as you can see. Now I'm taking a little scooper, and I'm gonna put it on the pan I have set here. I didn't have parchment, so I used to use aluminum with some cooking spray. And so I'm just gonna scoop these out. I don't think I'm gonna actually need two baking pans. And they said to keep it, a few inches away from one another because we're gonna now use a fork to smush this down into a chip. I'm preheating the oven to 325. I mean, actually, we might be able to use 2 baking sheets. I will just show you how I scooped it on here. I'm gonna show you now here. It says flatten each scoop to about 3 inches wide. So I'll show you here. On the pan, this is what they look like. It looks like little dollops. Now I'm just gonna flatten them out with a fork. Just like, how those peanut butter cookies, and I have non-stick spray, so it's helping. So I'm just gonna use a fork and slide it over so they're not sticking, leaving some room for them to bake and spread out a little bit. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna finish off the couple I have left in the bowl. I'm gonna throw them in the oven, and I'm gonna show you the finished products when they come out like chips. I think they might be a little thick, but this is my first time doing it. So let's see what happens. Here they are, right fresh out of the oven. I tasted them, they are delicious. Should have made a dipping sauce, I didn't do that. But if you want the written recipe, drop a recipe and I'll send it over to you. Ciao, ciao.